You muted?
No, yeah, I am.
You good? Okay. Okay. So we'll start off, Brian, you have the general fund warrant. Right, general fund warrant, dated April 18th. The total amount is $66,729.19. Interestingly enough, no health insurance on this one. But the one large payment is to the city of St. Albans for the recreation department. That total is $27,825. I believe that's a quarterly payment. And that's about 42% of the total general fund warrant. Everything else looks pretty good. I'd make a motion that we pass general fund warrant as presented for $66,729.19.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Jeff, you have the two payroll warrants.
Yep. Anna, the 58,000, that includes quarterly. Yep. Gotcha. Yes, I have two payroll warrants. The first one's dated April 11th, 2025, and that one's in the amount of $25,439.63. And I have a second one that is dated April 18th, 2025. And that one's in the amount of $58,338.85. And that one includes the fire department stipend. And I would make a motion that we approve these warrants as presented. Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Jack, I believe you have two miscellaneous warrants in there.
Got the stormwater utility warrant in the amount of $5,024.00. And a big chunk of that, 4961, goes to Fitzgerald Environmental. And what did they do?
Fitzgerald is French Hill Culvert.
Oh, okay. And a little bit to some attorneys.
Is that $63 for an attorney bill?
I let them find out who that
They're
is.
very honest.
Wow.
It's just a small portion of a bigger
Yeah.
bill.
Right, the postage.
I think 1179 was the rest of that bill.
The second one is industrial park warrant in the amount of $1,168.35. And that's all mostly Green Mountain Power for electricity for the lights, road lights, sewage pump, and $200 for some V-Trans road signs. And I move we approve both these warrants.
I'll second that.
Perfect. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. I believe that's the warrants. So in your packet, you have the minutes from 3 and 4/7. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve both sets of those minutes?
So moved.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
Thank you, Amanda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public comment. Coming up, Mr. Bray.
David Bray, Town of St. Albans. I'm not sure how if the board can weigh in on this or not, but when I drove down tonight, I took a series of pictures along Lower Newton Road and McQuam Shore Road where the farmer has gone through in the last couple of days and dug a pretty good drainage ditch. What I assume is down the town highway and then over to McQuam Shore Road where the culvert crosses there by Jack Bliss's property out into the lake. Have no problems with the farmers trying to lower the water table in their fields to, make their fields more productive. The question I've got is that we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to catch stormwater runoff up in the town or up in the city, around the city. And to me, this would be a great place to install some kind of a settling pond to capture that water coming off the field. I was pleased to see this week that when he was spreading his manure out there, he used the injector into the soil, which I know that's a good uptake. But I'd be happy just to show pictures to the board if they have any interest in looking at that. I don't know if you folks can weigh in. I talked to David a little while ago about some projects on the Quam Shore, and he said he had run into some issues with the ag department saying that they
Yeah.
couldn't create a stormwater pond in certain areas. And I said, why? And he said, well, he says, it's kind of confusing because he says the Agency of Natural Resources has said, do it, but the ag department is saying not do it. And he said, I'm really not sure why the ag department is saying that. And then he said something, he thought that maybe the ag department and Agency of Natural Resources were going to get combined where they had to work together to do these kinds of projects. So I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about this type of, to me, it's a low hanging fruit. Capturing that stormwater runoff coming out of the field. I just wanted to register it, guys. It's just a pet peeve of mine to try to clean up Lake Champlain. And to me, that's one of the obvious things. I know David said that he knew there were several places along halfway from the Quam Shore that needed to be addressed, but he was running into some stone walls on that. I've got some pictures from a couple of years ago where another one of those drainage lines was coming off over by the old pike farm. And you could see a slick going out on the lake that was like, 100 yards out in there, just brown stuff that had come off the field, like in another place for, a good settling pond. I'm not a soils engineer, but it just seems the obvious thing that those are the places that we should concentrate on capturing some of that stuff. And that's really all I have to say. I just wanted to kind of register it with you folks. Do what you want with it. I'm happy to share the pictures that I took tonight coming down, after the meeting, if you want to look through them. And I mean, it's a heck of a nice drainage thing. You can see the white drainage tiles coming out of the field, just good stream of water running in the ditch. I'm hoping that drainage tiles, I don't understand the science. Jeff, you may understand that a lot better than I do. The science on those drainage tiles. Some people have said it's a good thing, and then I've heard other people say it just makes the water go faster into the lake.
So there's a lot to it. Probably I'm happy to talk to you after the meeting in more detail, but there's two sides to everything.
I understand.
But in general, it's proven to have an agronomic benefit. And for phosphorus, it's a potential hazard, but not excessively high. Phosphorus gets tied up in the soil. Some dissolved phosphorus does make it through to the tile lines, but at generally a fairly low loading rate, let's say. The reason why the Agency of Ag says no stormwater pond is because my understanding, which I could be wrong on, is that agriculture is exempt from stormwater regs that other types of facilities would need, because they're already addressing that on the farmstead. So the farmstead is a very much more detailed. They regulate that. The federal government regulates that much more tightly than the non-point stuff that would be the field base. State of Vermont does have regulations on cleaning ditches. I'm not sure if they're always being followed, but and the water's got to go downhill, and that's where it winds up in the lake. I mean, although recently I say that, but that case with the Albans down in Addison County, that may be changing. So there may be, they may be able to stop water from going. They can tell a farmer not to let the water go downhill. Which it's a huge, well, they can't do it, right? It's now they're in contempt of court. I don't understand. I haven't read it, but a court has decided that you can damage your neighbor's property by letting the water go down. And I don't know where that's going to shake out. I guess Supreme Court in the end. That's my guess, not knowing, but don't quote me. But there is a big deal with the Albans down in Addison County over something similar to this. But
Yep.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, we did do a whole study on that. We got a grant for it last year. But they've obviously told you exactly where it stands. We could get grants to do it if it were allowed, but ag won't let us. It's one of the few instances where like A&R is like, yeah, do it.
And also
ag won't.
A&R is reasserting themselves at the top of the food chain as far as regulation of agriculture. That's in Act 124 and Senate Bill 124 and Senate Bill 100 right now. And that will spill out whenever they get to it, but the EPA has told the A&R that they need to be the lead in all agricultural regulations. So that will probably drastically change how farms are regulated. And again, my opinion, but based on my reading of the bills and the wording in there, it's going to change how things are done. So, okay, wait and see.
If that does change, then we already have a study that shows it's a problem. So, mhm.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a good
Okay. Somebody like to make the motion to recess the select board and convene as the liquor control board.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Okay. We have one license renewal for Vermont Grow Shop LLC, and that's for a tobacco license. Everything good? Nice. Perfect. Somebody like to make a motion to approve that tobacco license?
Second,
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Right.
aye.
I just.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, you
Okay,
guys.
thank you. Would somebody make a motion to close the liquor control board and reconvene as a select board?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So we have an appointment for the Historical Preservation Committee, and Pat is not here. But I guess she expressed some interest in the position.
Yeah, she did last year, actually. We didn't.
Oh, we were late or something, right? Or she was late or.
Yeah, well, it's and I've talked to Liz and Donna, and I guess now Pat about it too. Just didn't know what the future of it was because we actually started with it. If I trace the history back, the ordinance says supposed to have 5 members. At one point, we had up to 8. Now we're down to 2. So we're really just trying to figure out, and I reached out to them, trying to figure out the future of the board or the committee, I should say. So they're still interested, but they're still trying to work out, how to proceed. But they are still interested in moving forward. This would make it a 3-person board or committee. And we can just kind of move forward from there, however they want us to do it.
Okay, gotcha. Would somebody like to make a motion to appoint Pat Vincent?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Guess we're up to the town manager's report.
All right, get the housekeeping out of the way. Annual financial plan for the town highways, the thing that we most, it's just kind of all formality. Obviously, the expenses part, it's $500,000 that we put into paving for last year. I will say this came to me today, actually, with VLCT. I'm not sure it belongs in this, but we're talking about transportation funding. Right now, proposed in the fiscal year 26 budget for the state, they've slashed the transportation fund by 45%. So we don't know how that's going to affect everything yet, both locally, but also statewide, because as I'm sure people know, the state needs to spend a certain amount to get a federal match. So that could, I'm sure they have the reasons behind it, but that particular news took me back today.
That's a big chunk.
Yeah, it's a huge, so put it this way, we have 54 miles of paved roads in town. The state is only going to pave 220 or so this year.
In all the state.
In the whole state. We're not paving 54 miles, but we have 54 miles, just to kind of give some perspective on how much that is.
So that list of roads that Dave wanted to do is not gonna happen.
Well, no, that's different. That's all local. So we have some rollover from last year and a grant and plus LOT. So we're going to fill the gap with some LOT, I think. which will be, I think, around 70 minutes, almost 70,000 on top of the 500. So we'll be okay locally this year. But statewide, it was a kind of a raise your eyebrow moment. At least it was for me. So we'll see how that proceeds. But it's an interesting thing.
So Sean, that's a done deal or that's what you're hearing?
It's not passed yet, but it's for folks at VLCT to say that it's, getting this far down the timeline of passing things. I'd be surprised if they're saying 45, and it's going to be a significant cut. Yeah, to say the least.
If it makes it through.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff never gets
Yeah,
there.
they've got a good mix of things this year that, from my seat, which is biased, but that looks like a lot of things are going to go through at this point. Yeah, on camera, I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so, but some cases I'd like to be wrong. So we'll see. Next is the winter operations guidelines. Last meeting, it's the same as what Dave explained last week, except for we separated the mailbox replacement policy so we could make it an official policy. Everything else is the same. Mailbox policy is the same. Winter guidelines, which is saying winter operations guidelines. It's essentially just like a lighthouse, as I call it, for internal. And then the mailbox replacement policy actually replaces, if you would make a motion, it would replace, I'm going to say, a little known mailbox policy that we had from 2017. That was about 2 small paragraphs, probably 2 long sentences. So this would just replace that if you would make a motion to accept that, the mailbox replacement policy.
That's all we need a motion for?
Yeah.
Or the whole?
Yeah, because it's not the guidelines, it's just the guideline. It's not a policy or an ordinance. So you can if you'd like to, but the motion needs to come on the mailbox policy. Yeah.
You want to make a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion, we approve that mailbox policy.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Replacing the little known 2017 version. Yeah. The rest of my report, paving RFP on that, segueing from the paving, it's out. Bids are due May 19th at 10 a.m. This will be one of the bigger paving years actually, it'll be the biggest paving project year I believe we've ever had. Take an opportunity of some rollover, some grants, and our actual budget. So it'll be about $800,000 or so. And that's just a good confluence of things coming together for us to be able to do that. Tanglewood Stormwater Project, they'll be back out this week. Should be finished by late May. For folks, fans of the Stonehouse, as we all are, Arnold and Skangus, Laz, just sent over a scope of work today. So he'll be starting work in May, hopefully have a final report for the assessment and design of whatever the future of the Stonehouse looks like by July. So that's as of today. So that's pretty exciting step for us, at least for.
Price tag or?
It should, yeah. 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 The biggest part is figuring out what it would take to make the building something. If it's too, we'll cross the bridge as it comes. So, and lastly, it's just kind of a floating the idea thing. So we have our wall of fame out here, and I've talked to a few people about it. I've had a few ideas about it. I guess in order to really, in my opinion, like really honor the people that have been selected for it. I don't think it would be a great cost, but you could do other miscellaneous, town manager miscellaneous, but maybe put on RFP or something for a local portrait painter and have them do it. We only have 4 people on it to kind of just paint an actual portrait of them and then put plaques underneath them. I think it might put a different twist on it, and we can make it a little bit more memorable than 4 black frames outside of in the hallway. Let's put it that way. So just wanted to express that idea, and some citizens have come to me about it. So just floating that idea.
I like that idea. It's cool.
Yeah, because right now it doesn't even have their names, right?
It does not.
Yeah.
I don't, well, I mean, yeah, go for it. I mean, I don't think you need our approval to do
Is
that.
that?
I don't
no,
think you need our approval. To do
Yeah,
that.
no. Yeah, I've had a number of people come to me about it.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
could
just
spruce
like-
it up, I guess.
Yeah,
It'd be nice if it was a local.
that's what, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, I would assume it'll be. But, yeah. That's that. End of my report.
So we have this winter operations guideline.
Mhm.
You said you didn't want a motion. Would it look better if we had like our signatures?
That's kind of why I just said it is like, you don't technically have to, but it make it a little bit more.
Because if somebody doesn't like something in there, the mailbox thing, they'll go, oh, just it was the DPW director. This way here, we
Yeah.
can be
Yeah, I was-
responsible for it.
I would suggest it, yeah.
Is that a motion? Yes. Perfect, thank you. Second to that motion?
Second,
Perfect, all in favor?
aye.
Okay. That takes care of that.
Good thing I didn't put my pen away yet.
Now, the next one is that annual financial plan for the town highways. Do you need a motion for that or do we just sign that? I can't.
Yeah, you just sign that.
Just sign it.
It's good. Yeah, half of that's just the state stuff formality.
Okay. Anybody have any other business?
Yeah, I do, John. I'd like to see what we could do to look at our policies or somehow to improve communication between the town and the public. Like, I'm thinking like the room's empty, not totally empty, and we appreciate the folks that are here, but it just seems like we aren't getting. I don't know if people don't care or if we're not communicating or showing or displaying what we're doing enough to the public. Well, I understand that, but I'm not selling. I can tell you this, trying to give a building away for $10 will fill a room, even though you're gonna come out ahead on the other end, but. But I just like from like across different boards and across different, like just how do we communicate what we're doing in a meaningful way that people can get more interaction from the community? And I don't know, maybe what the select board does is pretty boring, but other boards have stuff going on that people may or may not be interested in. And I was just wondering if we could take a set of time to look at our policies that pertain to that. And just make sure that we're like on our if we're doing Facebook blast or our website getting updated in a timely manner and things like that, just try to do all that we can as a town to convey to the public what we're doing and give them the opportunity to respond to what we're doing. And I think just looking at maybe we're doing everything we can do and people are just apathetic toward town government. I don't know that, but I think we set policy and such. That's one of the tasks that we have, just looking at whatever communication policy we have and reviewing it and updating it to see where we can make improvements. I don't know if that's a crazy thing or not, but
Well, I liked seeing it in Front Porch Forum. I saw the meeting
It's
announcement.
been the last two.
And I know when I was door knocking, some folks said, oh, I wish I could make it. And I said, you can attend on Zoom. And they said they didn't know that, even though I did see it in the announcement that it did have the Zoom
right.
meeting number.
I would just as,
Well, there's people like me that like even my job, I'm on Zoom all the time, but I really don't know how to use it. Like I click on a button. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't work, like today I had it happen with an A&R meeting. Couldn't get in. Time they let me in, the meeting was half over. I didn't bother. That is probably true, but
John, on our, oh, sorry.
go ahead. I'm just saying,
Yeah, on our Zoom meeting that we have, is it the same?
Same every-
that link every time? right?
Mhm. Yeah, that's one of the first things that I changed because we were doing it.
Good.
Yeah.
When I came in, it was a new link every month, every.
Yeah, I know you
meeting,
can
but
have
now
a
it's-
recurring one.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, Jeff,
Yeah.
and to Amanda's as well. I mean, I think the last two on Front Porch Forum is good. I wonder if maybe we could do that with the Planning Commission and
Mhm.
DRB. I don't know if posting minutes on there is good too, but because I think we keep a lot of the stuff on the website pretty
We do,
well.
yeah.
And it does seem, I don't know, when we share stuff on Facebook, there often more than a dozen comments or so on different things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the.
Yeah, no, that's
way
those are the
forward,
kinds of
but-
things I'm thinking,
Would
but do
help.
we have is it, for lack of a better term, do we do it willy-nilly or are we doing it in a structured format? I don't know that. I'm just trying to figure out how to communicate and get communication better between our citizens and ourselves. And that's all.
I think
So-
posting a Zoom link would be easier because right now it's just the meeting number, which could be confusing for
But you
some
can click
folks.
on it.
You can click on
It's
the
a
number.
hyperlink, yeah. Yeah,
I
at
don't-
least if it's a PDF or the Word.
Is
you
it
can
on the
just-
website too?
You can just click on it. It should be.
Well, if we could, maybe we just look at that and see
Yeah.
what we can do to make it, it may improve. I mean, it's gonna take a lot of time, but maybe over time we can get more interaction with the citizenry that kind of help fund everything that
We
we're
need
doing.
more good stuff.
Yeah.
Prison, town hall and the rock.
It really is. It's typically
You
reactive,
gotta
though.
have-
That's just kind of the
I know,
nature of it, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just barking
Don't
up
say
the wrong
Cory.
tree.
No, I don't think you are. I think it's valid and I think we'd all like more, interaction and communication with it.
But so it seems like not, everything is virtual now since
Mhm.
COVID and not that we're setting the world on fire in here pre-COVID.
Yeah. I think we'd probably get more in-person attendance if we did like once monthly meetings. That's just a observation of mine, but
Could you put a link, I see it in the front porch, it's great, like, community, on that front porch. Notice, could you put a link to the Zoom?
yeah. Is it not in there?
I didn't notice it, I just read that
Yeah.
and said, oh, that'd be.
Like, if we just take a look at those things, like our communication channels and make sure that people are able to get back to us instead of us just sending it out and, and yeah, that's all. I won't say any more about it. I just think that'd be a good idea. We could figure that out.
If it's not in there, please tell me. On the front porch.
That's all I had, John.
I mean, we had the nudity ordinance, obviously, and that generated a lot of comments on Facebook. Have we put other ordinances on and have they gotten any? I don't remember if we have. I can't think of one in particular that's been posted. And then I can't.
None that's
think
gotten
if
that
we've-
response, but
Well,
Since I've
definitely
been
not,
here.
definitely not
Yeah.
that response, but.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just wondering if, like, we got the guidelines. I mean, I don't know, should they be
Yeah.
posted on just as public announcement? See if, I mean, it may generate.
Mailbox.
Yeah.
it usually gets shared to like the
Well,
community forum.
That's
and
what
then-
happened.
Yeah.
The town posted that on their website and Facebook page,
Mhm.
and then somebody shared it to Wiki's page.
Yeah.
And then that's
Then it-
where it.
Then it usually takes off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it took off.
Yeah.
Because everything's on our our website.
Yeah.
It's when we post it to Facebook and
Yeah.
people can easily do share.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, true.
But I don't know. I mean, we could share every policy or ordinance that we place
Or put a link up to the page of
or a link
policies.
to it.
Yeah.
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 probably would be the best thing. No, we can talk about that. as we-
Yeah. I think the truth of it is you're right. A lot of it's just boring. It's just, like we're involved in it every day and we're immersed in it, but yeah,
I mean, there's,
maybe shouldn't have said that on camera. So, yeah, it's little stuff I like to deal with.
well, maybe
Yeah.
other boards have more excitement. No,
on how boring my life is I watch their meetings and it's not always that much more exciting. Yeah, so it's just, yeah.
This is where you actually.
I don't know, the DRB can get pretty good.
Oh, no, yeah, DRB takes the cake.
No, it's still.
They have more hot button stuff
Yeah, yeah.
compared to knock on wood.
Did you have any?
Yeah, just a quick one. And I just forwarded this to everyone else, but just third quarter update from Sarah Macy, the finance director for the city. She also does the the books for the police department and the dispatch. So just fiscal third quarter, obviously, report and just some of the highlights. We are instead of just saying we're 3 quarters into the year, we're 20 pay periods out of 26 in, which is about 77% of the payroll. And basically everything's right on budget, which is very good. The police department is at 77.7% and the dispatch is 74.4%. Things like gasoline consumption came in low, which is very good. Repair and maintenance is low as well, which is awesome. And some of the insurance stuff was a little higher than it needed to be. And let's see, dispatch revenues as well is at 94% because they collect a lot of the money at the beginning of the year. They've got 48,000 more that they expect to get, and they'd be at 98% of budgeted revenue. So again, we don't know what'll come in the fourth quarter for work that the police need to have, but the first quarter of last year, which would be July through September, obviously was very busy for them. And even including that, we're right on pace. So that part's good. That's a report. Again, I emailed it to everyone, including Al. So if you didn't already have it.
I think I'm taking your spot on the interview panel for the next round.
Okay,
of hiring.
talk to
So,
Lieutenant Kuchar. Good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So they've got some funding to increase their staff again. So it'll be good.
Yep. Excellent.
Perfect. Anybody have any other business? More other
Just executive session.
Okay, so the next meeting is May 5th. And the following after that will be May 19th, both starting at 6:30. And the planning commission public hearing for bylaw amendments is Tuesday, April 29th at 6:30.
There is a Zoom link out for that.
There's a Zoom link out for that on our website.
Yes. I made it the other day for Megan. So yeah.
Okay.
What time did you say that was?
6:30.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Hmm?
Are you good? Check it. Are you
Yeah,
good?
just checking.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
Perfect. Contractual tonight?
Yes.
Oh, and legal?
Okay. Which one do you think? What is that? I don't even know what
See if
that
it
one
makes
is.
the motion. See if it makes the motion. We'll see.
Oh,
exciting.
yeah. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Would somebody like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss a contractual and legal matter where premature general public knowledge of the subject matter would place the town or persons involved at a substantial disadvantage, and further move to enter into executive session to discuss a contractual and personnel matter under the provisions of Title 1, Section 313A1 of Vermont statutes, and to invite the town manager, Director of Operations, Al Vogel, and Anna Borden, the town clerk.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
Recording stopped.